Hey everyone, I'm here with my October wrap-up, and I read a total of 14 books. One was a DNF, so I don't really count that as an actual read book. The first one I read is fan art by Sarah Tregay, and this is like a really cute gay contemporary romance. I really enjoyed this one. There were so many cute bits, and if you really enjoy, your nice, not like fluffy, but it's nice lighthearted romance, then make sure to check this one out. It's between two boys and one of them is in love with his best friend. So good times. The second is Made for You by Melissa Marr. I read this for a blog tour and I really enjoyed this one. It was a murder mystery. There was a little bit of surprise elements in it, and I really enjoyed it only because of the fact that Melissa actually added in the parts from the murderer's point of view, and his thoughts were so darn creepy. I was really creeped out on that part. I give this one, I think, a 4, or is it a 3? Not sure, but I will put my review down below. The next book I read is LAILAH by Nikki Kelly. This one was getting a lot of buzz on the blogosphere, and people were either really loving it or really disliking it. I'm in the middle part. I gave this one a 3 out of 5. I thought it had a lot of very creative elements that pertain to vampires and angels. I've never actually read vampires and angels as like enemies in a book before, so I thought that was really interesting. The history behind it all was the thing that got me going. I thought the world building was really great. As for the characters, I thought she wasn't the greatest, she wasn't the strongest. I felt she was kind of like a damsel in distress, and that really threw me off from the entire time I was reading it. There was a bit of discrepancies that I wanted to like point out at, and yeah, I'm still really interested in the series and I really want to know what happens next. I give this one a 3 out of 5. The next one is The Walking Dead. This is book 1. Holy crap, this comic is really violent. I didn't realize how violent it was until I started reading the comics. It is extremely, oh god, I don't even know what to say. It's extremely, I don't know, it's not horror, it's more like gruesome, and it's very sinister at parts, so I really enjoyed it. I give this one a 4 out of 5, but I'm not sure if I'm going to keep reading them all just because I don't know if I can take it. It's really heavy stuff, so it's not for the faint of heart. No One Else Can Have You by Kathleen Hale. Now, this is the one that I DNF'd. I gave this one a shot during all of that drama on Twitter. I realized I still had it on my TBR list, so I gave it a try, and I decided that I couldn't keep going. I think I was like on the 38% mark or something like that, or maybe it was lower. I just couldn't get into it. The character was really annoying. There was a lot of disconnects that I couldn't let go of, and the takeaway from who the murderer was, it was given too quickly, so I lost interest in it. I gave this one, yeah, I marked this one as a DNF. Trial by Fire by Josephine Angelini. This one was getting a lot of rave reviews, and I needed to see why. So when I read it, I was like, okay, yeah, this is a really interesting book. It's about a girl who is very allergic to everything around her. She basically should live in a bubble, and one day her and her best friend are at a party and she's in love with her best friend. His name is, oh gosh, what was his name? I forgot his name. She's in love with him and she wants to tell him how she really feels, but he leaves her by herself to go chase off after some other girl. Can you imagine that? He's such a jerk. Anyway, she's by herself, and then she ends up drinking a drink with alcohol, and she ends up getting into, like, she has seizures, and all of a sudden she switches, and it's like she's teleported into another world. So this book is like parallel universes with witches. So she basically finds out that she's in this different universe, but there is an actual person who is just like her. But that person is also very sick. And she finds all these other people that she knows there, and they're all like different. And there's also a love interest and all that stuff. I thought that part was really, I don't know if it was too cheesy, but it was kind of one of the most important parts of the book. I thought the witches and all of their history and her magical powers were very, very, like, it was intrigued me enough to keep going. I also thought there were some parts that I just couldn't understand. It just made me laugh out loud. There was a part where it was like they were gonna have sex, but it wasn't, and I started bursting out laughing. I couldn't take it. Other than the fact that it's a really great world building and it kind of dragged on, I give this one a 2 out of 5. I hope more people will like it. In the End by Demitria Lunetta. I read this one and loved it. I'm not gonna say what's about because if you haven't read In the After, then I'll probably spoil it for you. But it is about aliens, and it is about a girl who's trying to fight them off. And I will say aliens because that's, yeah, I'll just say aliens. But you know, yeah, if you read it. In the End is the conclusion to the series, and I really, really enjoyed it. There was so much action in this one. I loved it. Oh, so good. And I love how much she's grown from the first book. She's this strong character that was lacking in the first book, so I'm really glad that she's gone through this huge character arc. I give this one a 4 out of 5. As for the physical books, I read Prisoner of Night and Fog by Blankman, and this is about Hitler's niece. It's not technically his niece. It's like a family friend, and she just calls Hitler her uncle. So she's the darling of Hitler, and he loves her and their family. But then she meets this Jewish reporter, and she finds out that Hitler isn't really who he seems to be, as we all know in real life. So with the Jewish reporter, she tries to find out what's going on and how she can, like, stop everything. And this book was so good, you guys. I gave this one a 4 out of 5. I thought the writing was so beautiful. There was a lot of historical elements included in this one. I found myself like so engrossed in it, and there was just some brutal parts. So yeah, I give this one a 4 out of 5. The Art of Getting Stared At by Langston. Now this is about a girl who wants nothing but to go to film school, and her mom, the surgeon, doesn't want her to. But that doesn't stop her from trying to apply to this scholarship. She gets help from the bad boy. I want to say he's the bad boy. He is. And together they have to finish their video to apply to this scholarship program, and he's helping her. I thought this was a really, really interesting read. I've never heard anything about this disease. She finds out that she has this disease that causes all of her hair to fall out, and she ends up becoming one of the people that she doesn't like, becoming really, really into her looks, and she just forgets about everything else, everything that was important to her. I thought this was a really, really interesting read for any teenagers. I thought it brought me back to those times where you were so insecure about your looks, but I also thought she was so annoying. I couldn't, the things that she would say, it just bothered me so much. But I did give this one a 3 out of 5. Plus One by Fama. This is a book about the world as we know it, except the fact that people are separated from the nights and the day. So the people who are in the day are like teachers and doctors and the really, really important people. And the ones who go out during the night, they are like the help mostly. That's what I got from this book. I thought it was a really, really interesting read. They don't fall in love like instantly. It is really, really gradual, and it doesn't happen until the very end. And I really, really love that. There are no books like that. There's always like instant love, or it's just like thrown in together. They really hated each other at first, and I really liked it. It was a really refreshing read. I give this one a 4 out of 5. I love my dystopian sci-fis, and there's also that element of intrigue and, you know, getting away from the government and all their people. So I really like this one. The Summer Prince by Alaya Dawn Johnson. Oh god, this cover is so pretty. This is a science fiction. I want to say it's not really dystopian, but I do believe that there's a lot of diverse characters in this one. It's set in Brazil in the future, and I didn't even know what it was really about. It started getting better in the middle part because there was a storyline developing. I did really love her writing. It's very, very fluid. She's very, very intricate in her details. So you gotta keep on reading it to get it, but I thought it was really, really wonderful. I'll give this one a 4 out of 5. Uninvited by Sophie Jordan. Davy is our main character, and she lives in a world where they know that this gene has the power to kill, and she ends up having this gene and getting shipped off somewhere like a camp with all the other people who have this murderous gene. And it really like starts off there. Not a whole lot happens except the romance. So I gave this one a 3 out of 5. And last but not least, I read Shopaholic to the Stars by Sophie Kinsella. I just recently met her and I'm still fangirling over her. She's amazing. What can I say about this one? It is Becky Bloomwood, and she's back to her usual antics. She has moved to Hollywood with her family for Luke's job, and she really wants to get into the business. She is really determined to be like a stylist, for like a movie stylist. And you know, Becky, she'll do anything she wants, and she gets into the craziest things. Oh my god, this girl is hilarious. And I just really, really enjoyed it. It is a really quick, fast, fun, light read. I also did like the fact that it ended on a cliffhanger, so I'm pretty sure there's going to be a next book. Oh, so exciting. I give this one a 3, or is it a 4? Did I give this one a 4? I know I already reviewed this one. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5. So that's it for me this time around. I hope you guys enjoy this wrap up, and I'll see you next time. Bye, book nerds.